Airdrops have been going absolutely ballistic, and it's going to be one of the biggest money printers in 2024. In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can get qualified, what airdrops even are, and what you need to be paying attention to. If this is your first time here at Crypto Cash, welcome back to the channel. On this channel, we teach you how to make money in your sleep with cryptocurrency and really how to build up more time and freedom so you can live life on your terms. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. We get right into the meat and potatoes here at Crypto Cash Flow. So we're going to keep this very simple and straightforward. This is going to be your ultimate guide. If you understand this right here, you're going to be able to take advantage of alpha on your own. We want to teach you how to fish, not just rely on us. So we're going to go through this airdrop strategy, and the only requirements that you need is MetaMask. You don't want to use your primary wallet. Also, you want to make sure that you're creating a burner wallet. What does that mean? That means that the main wallet that you transact out of, where you're storing your crypto or NFTs or your main gens that you don't want people to get access to, if you accidentally connect to something that you're not supposed to, you want to make sure that you're using that burner. So if we came up here to MetaMask, in order to do that, all you would have to do is come up here, add an account, and then you would be able to add a new account here. You can call it whatever you want, and then it would just pop up just like this in one of these wallets, and then you would be able to start transacting out of that wallet. So the reason that we're doing this, once again, is just for extra safety and precaution to make sure that we don't lose any of our assets if we accidentally connect to something that we're not supposed to. But we do all of our research here at Crypto Cash, and we teach you all how to do that as well, so that should not happen. So the next thing you'll need is just some Ethereum. You can have $100 minimum. You don't need thousands of dollars to do this. The more money that you do put into this, I will say the more volume that you create, and that shows these different projects and protocols that you trust them and that you're willing to, transact with them and take a chance on them. I guess you could say blind faith, but you only need $100 minimum. Your allocation may not be as big as somebody putting like 5-10K in, right? But we're not going for the biggest chunk here. We're looking to just compound our earnings off of multiple airdrops that will add up to a greater sum. So that way we can take that and put it in a different cryptocurrency plays or however you want to use that money, right? And then the last thing here is just time and energy. It doesn't really take anything except for your time and some energy for you to sit down, butt in chair, click things on a screen and make things happen. I promise when we get to the actual process of this, it's all going to make so much more sense. All right, so the next thing that we have here is actual things that we're going to be doing, and we're going to get into the juice of this in just a moment. We're just going over the preliminary before we start messing with protocols and looking at guides. So bear with us. This is important. Bridging and swapping. Bridging, if you don't know what that is, don't think too hard on that word. It's just a big word for saying I want to send my money over there, okay? And we're going to look at that in a few. Swapping, another big word. Let's say that you have Ethereum and you want to swap it for USDC. We won't be doing this inside of MetaMask itself, but just to give you an example, you have Ethereum, you want to swap it into USDC. Let's say I want to put like $200 over there. That's all you're doing. You're just swapping it over into another cryptocurrency to create that transaction or whatever we're farming at the time, okay? And we're going to look at that in just a moment. Now some people to follow, right? CC2 Ventures, Cyclops, and RecFencer have all their links right here. Maybe I'll drop them in the description below. But these are important people, right? So I'm going to give you a quick story. If you haven't read the book, Think and Grow Rich, you should definitely, and I have it right here actually, you should definitely pick up a copy of this book. In short, there's a story inside of there where basically Henry Ford was like put on trial, and they were questioning him on all these different political and historical facts and just basically saying that he was dumb for not knowing these things, or he was just not the right person to be doing the things that he was doing in the automobile industry. And he absolutely crushed them by saying this one thing. And this is the one important thing that we need to realize here in this video, is that outsourcing is key. He said that why do I need to keep facts and all this information inside of my head when I have a row of switchboards right here where I can just press a button for the thing that I want and summon a person with that information to give me that information where I can go take action on that thing. And that's exactly what we're doing here with this as well. We have tons of people like Cyclops, CC2 Ventures, and RecFencer who put amazing airdrop guides together for us with all the information. All we have to do is go execute on that information. Sorry for my chair also, y'all. I'm just trying to get comfortable. All we have to do is go execute on that information and take the steps in order to do it. We don't have to go research these protocols. Well, let me back up there. You want to make sure you're researching everything that people are putting out. But what I mean is that you don't have to go find it yourself. You can just start going through this and get right to the money. So that's the important of these guides, and you should definitely go follow these people on Twitter. This is No Brain Flip and CT2 Ventures and then Rec Fencer have amazing guides, okay? So last things here is some protocols that we're going to be using. So for bridging, we're going to be using Orbiter Finance, and we're also going to be using Jumper. We're going to talk about that in just a moment too. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this thing so that way all this stuff starts making sense. Now, I went ahead and grabbed one of the guides from Cyclops, and this is one airdrop that's been confirmed. Selenia, right? So this is just one project. Everything that we're doing, by the way, on this project is universal. This is going to apply to just about every single project that we interact with. So don't complicate this information. We're literally just swapping and just bridging, y'all. That's it. They just have different names behind them. So we're going to just start working our way through this guide. The very first thing that we have to do is we have to add the Linea network to our MetaMask. And in order to do that, they're saying to go over here to Linea scan.build and then add it to the MetaMask. They also have a screenshot right here. So if we were to come over here, I'm not sure if it's going to pop up for me because I already have it on here. Or actually, yeah, so you can add Linea mainnet network and it will say it's already been added to MetaMask. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and remove it real quick so that way you can just see. It's actually not going to let me remove it because I think it's natively built in, honestly. Another way that you can do this too is you can go over to chainlist.org. I love this website a lot. This is actually the main way that we add networks to our MetaMask. So you can just come over here to Linea. And it works just the same way. You would click connect. It would add it to your MetaMask wallet here. And to verify that it is there, you can come up here and just see that you are on that main net right there, okay? So I'm going to close out of that and go back over to that guide. Step 1, done. So now what we have to do is we have to bridge over into Linea, okay? So we have to visit this page right here, bridge.linea.build, and bridge any amount over using the official bridge. So we're just going to connect. I'm already connected, so let me disconnect so you can see what that looks like. Once you connect, you're going to click here. It's going to pull up this right here, MetaMask. And then you're going to just make sure that your wallet is checked. Make sure no other ones are checked. I always make sure that my ledger, anything like that isn't checked or connecting to any sites I don't want it to connect to. And I click connect and then next. Or next and then connect. All right, and then a few things are going to pop up here. It's going to say MetaMask bridge for users, third-party bridges for users, native bridge for tech operators. This is what we want. We want to use the native bridge, right? So I have some stuff that I've already bridged over, just some small amounts just to test. But this is basically how it would work. You would just type in an amount here, and then, well, I don't have anything actually on here. I would just switch over. You would just type in an amount here, and then you would just start bridging that over. So you would hit start bridging, and then it would switch over to that network back to Ethereum where we were. We'd have to sign off on that transaction, confirm. And you want to make sure that you just leave automatic claiming there because it's just one button that you press in order to claim those funds. Once that starts bridging, you're going to see it down here. It's going to say that your funds are being bridged. And it may take some time. The native bridge are a little slow, as you can see. There is a little bit of time in between these two, but it will eventually get over there. And then when it does, there will be a button down here that just says like claim or just complete bridging. And then you would be able to come over here to your Linea wallet and then see those funds inside of there, right? Now, you don't have to use the native bridge because sometimes they can get a little expensive. As it says down here, bridge as much as possible via third-party bridges, or actually it says it right here. Bridge any amount. Official bridge is expensive, so it's better to bridge main volume via third-party bridges. Bridge any possible amount via third-party bridges. Gas fees, there will be cheaper, right? So this is where Orbiter kind of comes in right there too, and it does the same thing. Now he gives us a list of different bridges that we can use: XY Finance, Orbiter, Layer Swap. My favorites are Orbiter and Rhino 5 for Linea. So I'm going to go over to Orbiter, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with that native bridge, and we're just going to connect our MetaMask, verify it's not connected to anything else, so we're going to hit next. So what we want to do is we want to switch this, and we want to make sure that the Ethereum network is chosen because this is the network that we are currently on, and this is the network that we want to go to, right? Linea. So I'm going to type in 0.5 Ethereum. I'm going to hit send, and let's see what these fees look like. It's going to switch to network. We're going to hit confirm and send. And we can see that it is significantly cheaper than that native bridge, right? So it's 71 cents here just to bridge this over, and it's much faster. So we're going to hit confirm, and we're going to wait for that to send on over. It shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna actually speed it up just for the sake of this video if I can. I would not suggest you speeding it up because that is just an extra fee that you just don't need to pay. I suggest you just waiting for this bridge to go through because it honestly doesn't take that long. So we're just going to wait a moment for this to complete, and then once that completes, we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so the screen looks just a little different now, but the bridge has completed. We can see that the Ethereum actually left my account, and if we go over to Linea, we can see that the money is now over there, so we can move to the next step. Now, I want to bring up one thing because as I was doing this, I did notice that Linea for some reason disappeared from Orbiter. I'm sure it's just a bug or something like that, but in the event that something like that happens, there are other other bridge options here that Cyclops have recommended. My next popular one I would recommend is RhinoFi. This is one that I really like. So I'm just going to walk through this really quickly just to show you a different option. If you come over here to RhinoFi, all you have to do is click on the bridge right here, which it actually brought us to automatically. And then what we do is we just connect our wallet. So I can see, let me actually disconnect that for a moment, and it may make me go into that wallet. So let me actually switch over there and disconnect this one so that way we can operate out of the wallet that we've been working on. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go back to Ethereum because this is where we want to bridge from. So what we're basically doing is we're doing the same thing that we did on Orbiter. We're just using this option just in case for some reason that Orbiter isn't working or whatever bridge that you're transacting with isn't working at the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the wallet once again, just like we did on Orb, to make sure nothing else is connecting. Good to go. And then we can do the same thing. So we can choose our Ethereum. We can choose where we want to go, which is the Linea network. And I'm just going to bridge a small amount over this time, 0.2. I'm going to go ahead and click bridge. It's going to ask to switch the network like it did before. Okay, so we're going to switch to, once this pops up, to the Linea network. And then that's going to go ahead and process. We're going to have to approve it. And then we're going to click confirm. Now I'm not going to wait for this bridge to complete. We basically saw what that looks like. On the right hand side we can see it actually bridged over very fast. So we can see that it looks like it's still processing, but I'm sure that Ethereum is now inside of my account. If I go back over to Linea, I will see that it was just deposited, so that $45. So that's just another option for you all. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. And also let me point out one thing too. This is actually really important. So this is the whole thing that we're doing, right? So like he said in this guide, we want to create volume. Where did he say that in the guide? Actually, we want to create volume right here, right? So that's what we were saying in the beginning of this, right? The more money that you have to bridge over into this, the more allocation that you may get later on, because you're showing the project that you trust them, that you feel like they are a reliable network and all that good stuff. Granted that we've done our research, right? Because we don't want to get scammed out here. So coming back over here, I'm going to go to MetaMask, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to these three dots and we're going to click on View Explorer. Okay, now just to show you, as we switch back and forth between these two networks, the explorers are different, right? So we have etherscan.io, and now because we are interacting with Linea, we want to make sure that we're getting transactions over there. So we're going to look at the Linea scan.build, and this is basically like Etherscan. Don't think of it as anything else. And basically you're just looking at your transactions here. So these are all the transactions that I have taken inside of my wallet, but you can see that we just bridged here not too long ago 0.5 Ethereum, and we also bridged on RhinoFi that 0.2, right? So another reason why we wanted to show you two protocols also is because the more decentralized applications that you interact with, right, dApps, the more chances that you have of getting that airdrop as well, versus just farming one platform. Like you could sit here and bridge all day long into Orbiter, with Orbiter into Linea and build up those transactions, right? As we see here, we could do this all day long, but we want to make sure that we're touching different platforms as well, so that way we can build up and touch different decentralized applications and not look like we're just, not putting too much effort into it, right? So moving on to the next step on that note, we're going to close out the Explorer. And we're going to come on down here where it says now we can come over here to echo.dex.io and swap. Me personally, now I have to research this because I'm not too familiar with it. Anything that I'm not familiar with, I go back and research and make sure that not just one person is recommending this, but Cyclops is very reputable. Anything that he pushes out, I pretty much follow and agree with. There are some other options down here though, right? Do the same actions on other DEXs. This is what we were talking about, decentralized exchanges or decentralized applications, whatever you want to call them. My favorite one to use is SyncSwap. I love this one a lot. And is there another one that I use actually? Let me see, scroll. ZK. I'm trying to think if there's another one, but we'll stick with SyncSwap for now. So what we'll do is we'll go over to SyncSwap, and you can research them, right? You can check them out and see what they got going on. Apparently that they are supposedly going to have a token at some point in the future as well. So not only are we double downing on the interactions with Linea, but we're also, when we interact with this platform, potentially positioning ourselves for another airdrop, right? Same thing with Orbiter. You would only know this information if you're researching it, but they're supposed to have an airdrop as well. So by using their bridge, we are qualifying ourselves to do those things. All right, so coming back over to SyncSwap, I have to disconnect this wallet that I was using before. Let me go over here. Let me remove this. Boom. All right. So I'm going to go back to this wallet. Now I'm going to connect it. I'm going to use browser wallet. I'm going to once again go through the same process, y'all. You can see we're just rinsing and repeating this stuff, right? So we're going to go over to SyncSwap. And now we can see our available balance here, 0.5 Ethereum. What do we do now? We just want to swap into a cryptocurrency. Me personally, if I have Ethereum, I like using USDC, USDT, and wrapped Ethereum when you're buying in and out of this. And there may be a small loss, but if the market isn't rocketing, it's not going to be anything significant. So I'm going to go ahead and do 75%. And then what I'm going to do is click confirm. And that's going to wrap itself. If we go over to Linea Scan and check that out, we can see that that transaction is processing. Actually, let me go to my wallet. And I'm just going to paste that into there. Also, I hope this isn't confusing. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment box or in the comments below. We can see that this is happening right now, right? So we just swapped over into that wrapped Ethereum. I'm going to go over here and we can see that balance is reflected. Now, you may not see it inside of your wallet right here right away. I actually had to add this token. So if I were to remove this or hide it, sometimes your wallet will just pop up like this. And you're like, where the heck is my money at? Well, if you come over here to the Explorer, what you can do is you can actually click on that transaction. So that wrapped token on Linea, right? And we'll click on this, the wrapped token. And then we can grab that contract address, go up to MetaMask. And what we're going to do is just import this token. The best thing about these videos, y'all, is you can pause them, go back, rewind them, all that good stuff, and watch this over and again if this is confusing. So now we can see our Ethereum here, and we'll just go back over there, right? So this isn't a requirement, but I like seeing it inside of my MetaMask. It's just a me thing. So I'm going to go back over, and now I'm going to swap this into USDC. And I'm just going to swap the whole amount over. And sometimes you have to unlock it, and which is good. That's a transaction as well. And you can see that gas is extremely cheap as well, right? Ethereum is an L1. Linea and some of these other protocols are L2s, which means the gas is just going to be smaller. The gas is going to be significantly smaller. No need to understand what an L2 and all that stuff is. You can definitely go research it, but all you need to know is that gas is cheaper. To get to where you need to go is cheaper. So we have done that. We've submitted it. I'm not going to add that to MetaMask to see that. If I wanted to, I would just walk through that same process. Not a requirement. Sometimes the balance will say 0 and it just has to load. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to refresh this and the balance should pop up there now. So give that a moment. And the balance is not popping up there for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and come over to Linea and just make sure that the balance is inside of here, which it definitely should be. Okay, so just a moment ago, oh wait, did it wrap it in Ethereum again? Or did it not let me do USDC? Oh, you know what? I know what I did. All right, so I unlocked it, but I did not actually swap it. So I have to now go back to my wrapped Ethereum and now swap it into that right there, okay? So now we can swap and we can hit confirm. Now that's going to swap over into that USDC and we can see that balance reflected. I was wondering because I was like, it should definitely have swapped. So give that a moment. It is submitted and it's going to swap it into that $863 in just a few. All right, there we go. I thought I was about to pause the video out. All right, so I'm going to go back over into Ethereum. And what I'm going to do is just swap this over back into Ethereum. And this is just a rinse and repeat process, y'all. Make sure that you're getting at least 10 transactions doing this. And make sure that you leave at least $10 to $20 inside of your wallet, if not the whole balance that you have that you're farming with. So that way you can come back and perform these transactions again, okay? So if we go over to Linea, scan again, we can see that our transactions are building up. 14 seconds ago, 44 seconds ago, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 8 minutes, right? And we're using different protocols. We use RhinoFi here, or we use Orbiter, we use RhinoFi, we use Linea, we use Scroll Router to do these different things, right? If we come back over to, let me see here, make another bridge, RhinoFi, this would be another transaction, right? You can, okay, this is actually a pro tip right here. So instead of bridging back to Ethereum, if you're farming other protocols, it would be best to just bridge into another protocol that is actually cheaper. So like Scroll, for example, is just going to be so much cheaper to bridge into this than it would be back to Ethereum. So we can see this is like 15 cents right here. Let me actually see what it would cost to bridge back into Ethereum right now. If I were to bridge into Ethereum, let's say like 0.1, how much would that cost right now? Maybe it's cheap right now too. Well, let's see. Okay, so it's about 15 cents as well. I believe actually going from Ethereum to other protocols is what's expensive. Maybe I just have it backwards there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get out of that. And now we're going to go back over to the guide. And we're just going to keep on powering through this thing, right? There's a theme you can see. Go to these apps, trade NFTs, connect your wallet, select Linea Network, select a preferred collection, buy and sell NFTs, right? So let's go over to one of these right here. Just going through these motions. This may be a longer video because there's a lot to cover. I'm going to go over to the app, make sure that you know they're looking good. Make sure you research them. People are saying good things. And this is just going to get you more transactions, right? Just buying into these things. Now, you don't have to buy expensive stuff. Make sure that you're buying cheap NFTs. But this is also not a requirement. You don't have to interact with every single thing, right? The goal is just to get some swaps in on a few platforms. The bridging is most important. And then making sure that you're interacting on a weekly basis and just staying involved, okay? So like he's saying right here, like airdrops won't be given to every user. So we recommend I recommend meeting at least these specific criteria: bridging 0.2 Ethereum, transactions, you know, at least 15, volume $2,000. Now I want to bring some clarity to this right here, because $2,000, I used to think that you needed to have $2,000, but really like that $100 that we bridged in, if that's what you have inside of there, if you bridge that 20 times, then that's $2,000, right? So that is what that means. You don't have to actually put $2,000 in. You can actually put that into there. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I mean, that's how you do these airdrops, is just connecting, just putting ETH over there, just swapping, just bridging into these different protocols. Like I said, that's just one protocol. There's a bunch of different threads here that you can go through. There's also some websites that I want to drop on you as well. Airdrop Alert, and then Airdrop, or Hot Crypto Airdrops. Is that what it's called? No, it's not. It's called airdrops.io, and then Airdrop Alert. This is where most of these people that are putting these guides together are getting their information, right? They're just actually going out and doing the research and putting the guides together. But you can come on here and do your own research too. Like if we were looking at one like reboot.bybit, I guess I would come over here and type in reboot.bybit airdrop and see if there's any information on that on Twitter. Well, maybe I typed it wrong. But that's how that would go. You can type that in. Like Grass, for example, we can come over here and we can type in Grass airdrop. And then there will probably be some people talking about Grass or talking about that specific airdrop. Like this one right here, this person's talking about it. This person's talking about it. This person's talking about it. They're telling you how you can get positioned in these different things, right? So yeah, just use these platforms religiously, because there's a lot of good information on here. And other than that, I hope that all of this made sense. Did I have anything else on here? Nope, that was pretty much that. I'm going to switch over to this screen. And this was a longer video, y'all. I hope that you all got value out of this. This is how you farm airdrops. We'll probably make some more specific videos on specific airdrops that are coming out, so that way we can give them more attention and magnify exactly what you need to do and walk through those steps specifically on those projects. So if you got value, make sure you hit that bell notification, drop a like, drop a comment, so that way other people can get value out of this. And we appreciate you being here with us at Crypto Cash Flow. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.